In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups: the police who investigate crime and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders. These are their stories.
Hi, I go by name of Hines, your friendly neighborhood ketchup man, and we are back for Source and Order. We have a new trial today, and we are going to be going through the Las Vegas, Nevada versus Robert Tellez trial, which is a profound, interesting, I don't know what adjective to describe this trial, because the first time I watched it before I went into hospital, because let me give a bit of a background, because the only way I came across this case, right, was back in August last year, and unfortunately I was in hospital around September. So this case was going on when I was admitted into hospital for psychosis. So I didn't get to finish watching the trial. I started watching it quite late, so I was starting it from day one. So I was starting from day one when it was already commencing and already on its way. So by the time I started watching it and was starting to catch up, life hit. So unfortunately, I couldn't finish it. But there's no time like the present, because now we are going to be watching the full trial. We are doing what we do, what we haven't done on Source and Order, which is to watch the full trial. So rather than do a live recap format like I usually do, where I watch the case beforehand and then come on here and present the key moments from that trial, I have decided to retire that for Source and Order and rather go ahead and watch the full trial proceedings. So that's what we're going to be doing from today, watching the full trial proceedings of the Robert Tellez trial, and that is going to be the first in a series of Source and Order. So yeah, so without further, I'm gonna be starting off the Robert Tellez trial. There will be no opening statements, because I have a rule on this channel that opening statements are pretty much a waste. Like, it's not evidence or anything like that. So I don't really watch it unless it's for an ongoing trial. Then I watch it if I'm covering it. But if not, I tend to miss it, because I want to see what the evidence pulls out. I want to see what theory is being developed when the evidence comes out, and then we see what happens at the closing argument. So without further, let's go into the first witness for the Robert Tellez trial. So yeah, let me just share that screen with you guys. Let me just share that screen. Yeah, let's go for the first witness. I don't know her name. I forgot her name. It was 2 years ago, so I don't really know her name. But she is going to testify. I'll be creating the reports for this trial by taking notes as we go along, because like I said, I haven't watched this trial. It's been a long time since I've seen it. I don't have any notes on it. I don't have any report on it. So it's a first, it's the first time for everything, basically. So without further, let's get into it.
Shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You may be seated. Please state and spell your first and last name for the record.
Holly Bailey, Hollylbailey.
My name is Holly Bailey.
Ma'am, if you could, tell me where you live.
Northwest area, Brown Circle.
On Brown Circle. Who do you live there with?
My husband and our daughter.
Okay. And do you know someone, or did you know someone by the name of Jeff Gehrman?
Yes.
How did you know Jeff?
He's just been our neighbor for 27 years.
Okay. Where did Jeff live in relation to your house?
Directly across the street.
What's the kind of shape of the street? Is it just a straightaway, or?
Small cul-de-sac, like 11 homes.
Okay. I want to turn your attention to September 2nd of 2022.
Was that Friday?
I believe so. On that day, Does something kind of catch your attention with respect to Jeff?
Yes.
Okay. Or actually, yeah, September 2nd. So what do you notice?
Well, he never leaves his garage door open, and I noticed it was open and his car was in there. And it was I was running errands that morning, and then when I came home a little while later, around noon, I think it was open, and it's never open.
Okay.
Never.
Now, at this time, I'm going to show opposing counsel what's been marked as State's Proposed Exhibit 2. May I approach the witness? Let the record reflect I'm showing the witness State's Proposed 2. Ma'am, take a look at that. Do you recognize what you're looking at there?
Yes.
Is that, what is that?
That's his home.
Okay. Is that roughly kind of from a perspective facing from your home, kind of looking over in that direction?
Directly across the street.
Okay. At this time, we're going to ask permission to admit State's Proposed 2. No objection.
It's admitted.
May I have permission to publish?
Amen.
Thank you so much.
At times like this, I wish I was watching the trial channel, because what she would do is that she would cut through all of this.
You mentioned that
And get to the point.
on that morning, you noticed that his garage was up.
It was closer to noon because I was running errands that morning. I dropped off at school, and then I had errands, and I was home around noon, or before, a little before that.
And you mentioned you've lived next to this guy for how long? How many
Across the street, 27 years, almost 30.
years? And does he keep kind of a regular routine?
Yes,
And so this really stuck out to you?
yes, because I'm in and out of the house all day long, so I'm familiar with, it's not that big of a street, not to me. But I was his because,
Okay, so it's up around noon. Do you do anything in relation to Jeff to let him know about the garage?
No, but I was busy, and
Okay.
but I had that feeling of angst, like something was wrong.
Okay, so a little more time goes by.
Right.
Do you see that house a little bit later in the day?
All day, up until I left to leave at 2:30.
So at 2:30, is the garage still up?
Yes,
Do you decide to do anything at that point?
did it when I came home.
Okay, when did you come home?
It was around anywhere between 3:30 and 4.
Okay, so now...
And so I started, I believe it was texting, or I was texting him.
So you're texting him. Is the car in the garage? Is Jeff's car in the garage?
Yes.
All right. So now you're texting around 3:30, something like that. Do you
Yeah.
get any response back?
No.
So what do you do at that point?
So I'm really busy, so I just continued on. I spoke with my neighbor. She told me, it's strange. I said, I know I already called him or texted him. I can't remember what it was.
Do you
And
remember which neighbor it was?
her name is Debbie.
Okay. So you're now asking Debbie too. How long has Debbie lived in the neighborhood with you guys?
I'm not sure, but maybe a little bit longer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're noticing it. Debbie's noticing it. It's 3:30.
It's basically her and I, because
Okay.
I'm super observant.
Okay.
And so, and
Okay.
she is too, but she works from home, so she's busy herself, but I'm in and out all day long.
Evening comes, any change with that garage door?
No, we were gonna go, we spoke about it, my husband and I. He said if it's still open when it gets dark, we'll just go over there and close.
I
Yes,
don't know
Who
what's
does
wrong.
that?
my husband and I walk over there, and I pulled the cord,
All right, so you pull the cord, you bring it down.
and he pulled the garage door down.
All right, so the garage door is pulled down. Do you do anything to alert Jeff to let him know what you did for him?
It was either directly before or directly after. I think it was directly before. I sent him an email. It was either an email or a text. And I said, okay, this is what I think it was before. I said, this is what we're going to do. I haven't heard from you, so I'm assuming maybe we think you left town and you don't have your phone or something. I said, but your garage door's up, and I hope you're not mad, but we're going to go over there and close your garage door for you.
All right. Do you hear anything from him by the end of the night?
No.
Following morning, what
No.
happens? Following morning, what happens?
My husband woke me up early,
Okay, what happens then?
and he asked me if I called 311.
Okay. To do what? Why did you want to call 311 at that point?
For a well check.
Right? Do you do it at that point?
I said, let me email him one more time. And then he said, well, I'll go check the backyard. I said, I said, why don't you go check the backyard? He said, that's a good idea.
Is there a way from the cul-de-sac, if you're approaching Jeff's house, is there a way to kind of check that backyard?
To the left, as I'm looking at it.
So when we're looking in this picture, there are some individuals or some men standing to the left of that house. Is that the general area that you're talking about, that you can get to the backyard?
I believe so. I've never walked back in his backyard from
Okay.
that direction.
But that's what you were thinking your husband was going to go walk.
Right, and he said that's a good idea, and then that's
Okay.
what he did, and
And then what happened next?
then
She's distraught. It must have been difficult. Must have been so difficult.
she
Seeing
came
the
running in
scene.
the house sobbing and screaming.
Yeah.
And I said, what's going on? You know, what happened? And I ran out there to my husband, and he was on the phone with 911. And he was in shock, and I went into shock. And he was having a hard time
Your husband was.
getting to the 911 operator to understand him.
Okay. What happened after? Does your husband eventually get on the phone with 911?
He just kept saying, we know he's dead. What, he didn't say, we know he's dead. I heard him being very, like, to a point of arguing because, you know, just get the police over here. And she wanted to know, well, is he breathing? Is it, what, you know, questions about how do you know he's dead? And he said, what is taking so long, or something to that effect? Why can't you just get the police over here? I know he's dead.
And you could see your husband was upset.
Very upset because, you know, he has a bit of an accent and nobody can ever understand him on the phone. Plus it's above 115 degrees. It was a super hot day, very hot.
Okay. Did you go over to that side of the house?
Yes, I went up to my husband and then I saw him.
Okay, and when you say him, who are you talking?
Jeff.
Okay. After that, do the police or medical personnel eventually arrive?
Yes, but one policeman was walking up the block.
Okay.
And I just felt like it was, I was in shock, but it just seemed like everything was in slow motion because he was walking very slowly, and I kind of said, would you please hurry up?
Okay.
And he says, do you have a medical emergency? I said, no, it's not a medical emergency. I said, you can see.
Okay. And you
And,
directed him over to Jeff?
and then I saw a fire truck at the end of the cul-de-sac, but they wouldn't come up.
Okay.
Nobody came up the block.
All right. Did you remain outside and kind of watch as
Yes, I was praying over him, talking to him.
Okay. And so it was you there kind of just praying for Jeff?
I was, because I just didn't seem, it was just very not natural.
Okay. And you didn't...
And it just couldn't understand, I mean, didn't look like a natural death, I could tell you that right now.
As time goes on, do more emergency personnel and police arrive to the scene?
Of course.
Okay. And do you stay out there generally and kind of watch what's happening?
Yes, I just stayed, you know, I stayed across the street. My gate, my side gate would look directly on him.
Okay. And so you
But
watched...
through a semi-sheer bush, you know.
Okay. And so you watched them kind of set up, you know, crime scene tape or this, that, and the other?
Correct.
You stayed out there. Court's indulgence? Thank you. I have no further questions.
I have no questions for this witness. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much for your testimony here today. You may step down. You are excused from your subpoena. You may call your next witness.
Next witness, Your Honor, is Roy Bailey.
Yep.
Let me fast forward this.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You may be seated. Please state and spell your first and last name for the record.
Roy, R-O-W, Bailey, B-A-I-L-E-Y.
May I proceed, Your Honor? Good afternoon, sir. In September of 2022, what street were you living on?
Bronze Circle.
Bronze Circle? Is that yes?
Yes.
Okay. And how long have you lived in that neighborhood?
I'd say 40 years.
40 years? Did you have a neighbor by the name of Jeff Gehrman?
Oh, yes.
Where did he live in relation to your house?
Directly across the street.
Okay. Sir, I'm going to put on the overhead what's been admitted as states 2.
It's just out of the way.
Oh, there we go. Can you see that on your screen in front of you?
Yes.
Do you recognize that residence?
Yes, I do.
Whose house is that?
That is Jeff's house.
Okay. And you said you've been in the neighborhood about 40 years. Do you have an estimate of how long he lived there?
Yes, 26 years.
26 years?
Mm-hmm.
Over the years or decades there, did you kind of get familiar with when he would come and go from his house?
Oh, yes. Yes.
How would you describe his daily routine?
Excuse me. He would, in the mornings, I was working outside my house, and Jeff would come out around 8 o'clock or something, and I assumed he went and got his coffee or whatever and came back, and a lot of times, he would acknowledge me, I'd acknowledge him.
So he had kind of a routine of going to get coffee in the morning?
Yeah, quite
And then
often.
you'd see him when he'd come back?
Yes, absolutely.
On the 2nd of September of 2022, did you notice something strange at his house?
At his house?
Yeah, or how his house looked, I guess.
This was on the Friday, correct?
Yes, yeah.
I noticed the garage door was open.
Could you tell whether or not his car was there?
No.
Okay.
No, I couldn't see that low.
Okay. Was it unusual for him to have his garage door open?
Yes, he would come and go, but always close it.
Because you saw that, did you take note of it throughout the day?
Yes.
Did you have any discussions with your wife about the garage door?
Yes.
And do you ever walk over there on the 2nd?
Not early because of the heat.
Okay. How about later in the day?
Yes, I did go over there.
And when you went over there, did you go by yourself that evening, I guess it would be, or with anyone?
No, with my wife.
You went over with your wife?
Yes.
At that time when you went over, do you remember if his car was there or not?
Yes, it was there.
It was there. Did that strike you as unusual?
No.
Okay. Did you and your wife do anything to the house when you went over that evening?
Closed the door.
Were you aware of whether or not your wife had attempted to contact Jeff during the day?
Yes, throughout the day.
And to your knowledge, was contact ever made?
No.
I want to talk to you about the next day, the 3rd of September.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go over to Jeff's house that day?
Yes, I did.
Do you remember about what time you went over?
Around 9:15 in the morning.
Okay. And I assume you just walked over yourself?
Well, my granddaughter
Your
was behind me.
Okay, so she kind of was following behind you?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Is that, yes? When you, looking at this picture, did you go, like, I know the garage door would have been shut, but did you go to his front door, or where did you walk?
I went to his front door.
And is that towards the, kind of the...
To the right.
Yeah,
Correct.
where the trees are?
Yes.
Okay. And did you knock on the door?
I knocked and rang the doorbell.
And any response?
No.
Okay, what happened after you did that?
After I did that, I thought about going around, I was going to go around the back to see, if there was something up that way. And, I did go around the corner, around the garage,
And so did you head from looking at the, like from the tree area across the garage here?
I could, once I turned the corner, I could see across.
Okay, but did you walk over to that other side?
I walked over to the other side.
And what did you see there?
When I made the right turn, I walked about another 6 feet or so and saw sorry.
It's okay. Do you need any water? Or?
It's probably when he saw the body.
I saw Jeff.
You saw Jeff. Was he on the ground?
Yes, he was.
Okay. So you saw him, and based on that, what did you do?
I called 911.
Did you have your cell phone with you?
Yes.
Okay. Were you standing there calling?
Yes.
Okay. And then at some point after you called 911, did police and other people arrive at the residence?
Yes, there was a patrol officer that came by
Okay.
within a very short time, actually.
So the patrol guy comes first, and then were there a lot more people that came to the
That
house?
followed, yes.
Do you remember if you were interviewed by officers about what you saw?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay. And how about, did officers ask you about whether or not you had a video surveillance system on your house?
Yes, they did.
Did they ask for permission to download that from you?
Yes, they did.
And I assume you gave permission?
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Just briefly, thank you, Mr. Bailey. When you were interviewed, was it a formal interview where you went into the police department, a detective's office to give an interview?
No, they were in the house. I mean, the detectives were around all day. And
Okay. So it was just when they arrived on the scene. Is that the interview that you were referring to?
Yes,
Do you know if they recorded your interview or not?
I believe so, yes.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your testimony here today. You may step down, and you are excused from your subpoena. Thank you very much for being here. You may call your next witness.
We'll call Deborah Ryan.
I don't remember much in regards to. I don't remember much in regards to the opening statements when I was watching this live, because I remember going back and watching it fully. But I do know that the defense were saying that the old guard were after Robert Tellers. I do remember that.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. You may be seated. Please state and spell your first and last name for the record.
Debbie, D-E-B-B-I-E, Ryan, R-Y-A-N.
Thank you. May I proceed? Thank you. Ms. Ryan, if you could, do you know someone by the name of Jeff Garrett?
I do.
Okay. What was your relationship to him? How'd you know Jeff?
Neighbors, or lives right across the street from me for 27 or 28 years.
All right. What was the street that you and Jeff lived on?
Bronze Circle.
Do you know a couple by the name of Roy and Holly Bailey?
I do.
And how do you know Roy and Holly?
Been our neighbors since we've lived there for 33 years, right beside us.
Okay, so I want to show you what's been already admitted states too. You look at that monitor over the, well, you can look at the monitor even just to your right, if that helps, or you can look at the big one behind
No,
you.
this is better.
Is that better? Okay. Do you recognize what you're looking at there?
Yes.
Whose house is that?
Jeff's.
All right, so I just want to orient the jury for a minute. So Jeff lives there. Where do the Baileys live in relation to Jeff?
Straight across the street.
Okay, is that in a cul-de-sac?
We're in a cul-de-sac.
All right, and if we're at the Bailey's house, all right, if we're in the Bailey's house, do you live to the left of the Bailey's house, or you live to the right? of the
To the
Bailey's?
right.
Okay, so you live right next door to the right, so you're also facing Jeff?
Yes.
All right. So I want to turn your attention to September 2nd of 2022. Why did that, of all things, catch your attention?
Because unless he's outside, was working on the lawn or something, it was always closed.
Okay, so
It's always closed.
so you look over, garage is open, but Jeff's not there.
I didn't notice him, no.
Okay, was his car there?
Yes.
All right. So around what time do you remember roughly?
I'm gonna say 11:30, 12.
Okay, sometime in the afternoon, right, or midday. Yeah. So do you do anything at that point, or do you just kind of go about your business?
I didn't. I thought maybe he was working on the side of the house or something. I was getting lunch. I work remote. Went back to work.
So you go back to work. A little later in the day, is that garage door still open?
It is.
Do you notice it at that point? Are you concerned at that point?
I was a little because I wondered why it was still open. I left to go get groceries, so I walked over and knocked on the front door, rang the doorbell.
And so when you knocked on the door, did you notice anything? Did you notice like any signs of like someone breaking in or anything like that?
No, I did not.
So you knock on the door, get an answer?
No, I didn't.
Ring the doorbell, get an answer?
No, I didn't.
All right, so what do you do at that point?
Walked back and went and got groceries. I thought maybe he was showering. I don't know. I just walked back to the house.
All right, so you go about your day. Let's take at some point in the evening, do you kind of notice or check on the door or see what's going on?
We did. My husband came home. We went to get something to eat. It was still open. When we came back, it was still open. So I called Roy and Holly to see if they knew, where he was at. It was unusual.
When you spoke with them, did they share a similar concern
They
as you
did.
did? Okay.
Yes.
So what do you decide to do at that point?
We walked over. Roy pulled the cord in the garage so the door would go down. At least we knew it was shut. We thought maybe, I don't know, he'd left on vacation or something and the door open.
Okay. Do you hear from Jeff that night at all?
No.
All right. So let's get to the following morning. Let's talk about September 3rd. That morning, what are you doing that day, or what were you planning on doing?
We left for a ball game.
Okay.
We were at the ball game, and I'm not sure what time it was. I'll say 9:30 or so. I don't know. It was in the morning. We'd just gotten to the game, and I got a call from Holly.
Okay.
Very.
Tell me, before we get into what she said, what is her demeanor like when you get on the phone? How does she sound?
I can't even understand her. She's screaming, crying.
Okay. And what does she tell you?
That Jeff's dead.
Okay.
Roy had found him, so we left immediately and went home.
Okay. When you get home, when you pull up through Brown Circle, what do you see?
There are already cops starting to be there, but it wasn't closed off yet, so we were able to go into our house.
Okay, so you were able to make it to your home. Do you watch from your home? Do you come outside and just kind of watch as things unfold? What do you remember?
We're outside watching.
I know you're not a police officer, but does everything seem kind of normal for the most part? Does anything look out of the ordinary as police or paramedics or people are responding to the scene?
No, I don't know what. No.
Nothing stood out to you?
No.
Okay. And you stay out there for a while and watch?
Yes.
Okay. And nothing during the whole time you're out there, nothing catches your attention as being out of the ordinary?
No.
Okay. Did the police eventually speak to you at some point?
Came by, yeah.
Was it that day?
Yeah.
And where did you give your interview at?
They were just right in front of the house. They were asking a couple questions, but they still were not really saying anything, obviously. They were trying to figure out what's going on.
And you in general just relayed kind of some of the things you just shared with us
No,
today?
yeah, that we didn't know.
All right, well, listen, thank you so much. No further questions.
Cross-examination?
Just briefly, thank you, Ms. Ryan. When you were interviewed, was it by patrol officers, detectives?
It wasn't really an interview. They were just kind of in the neighborhood, going around trying to calm people, I think, more than anything. They weren't asking a lot of questions.
Okay, but you did come in contact with officers. Were they uniformed?
Yes.
Okay. Are you aware if they recorded your conversation with them?
I don't know.
Okay. Thank you. I have no further questions.
Can you redirect?
Oh, no, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you very much for your testimony here today. You may step down and you're excused.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. You may call your next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state calls Claire Browning.
It's interesting that he keeps asking these questions if he's aware or that that the police, whether they were recording the interviews, it's giving me the idea that he's trying to insinuate, well, the defense anyway, trying to insinuate early on that the police coming in might have been kind of a ruse.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this
I
action
don't
shall
know.
be
I
the
don't
truth,
know.
the whole
I
truth,
don't
and nothing
know.
but the truth, so help you God? You may be seated.
I don't know, just for the record.
Please
I
state
really
and
don't know.
spell your first and last name for the record.
My name is Claire Browning. First name is Claire. Last name is Browning.
May I proceed?
You may.
How are you employed?
I'm a senior crime scene analyst with Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department.
How long have you worked as a crime scene analyst?
A little over 9 years now.
Okay. And you said you're a senior crime scene analyst?
I am.
Can you explain to the members of the jury first what a crime scene analyst does?
The duties of a crime scene analyst are to respond to crime scenes once we've been requested. We document the scene through notes, photography, a diagram if necessary, process for any latent prints, and collecting the evidence as it pertains to the crime.
And do you undergo training with Metro before you're allowed to work as a crime scene analyst?
Yes, we do.
And can you just give us an overview of that?
We go through a 12-week crime scene analyst academy, as well as a 12-week field training evaluation program, and we do continuing education classes after that.
And you mentioned that you're a senior crime scene analyst. Is there some testing or proficiency requirement or I guess experience that allows you to have that designation?
Yes.
And can you describe what that is for the jury?
We go through a testing process to promote to senior crime scene analyst. Once we are a senior, we are able to handle more complex calls to include homicides, officer-involved shootings, things of that nature. We also are responsible for training newer crime scene analysts and being an acting supervisor.
And you were working as a crime scene analyst on September the 3rd of 22?
Yes, I was.
Were you asked to respond to 7216 Bronze Circle?
That's correct.
What type of location is that?
It's a residential neighborhood.
Were you the only crime scene analyst that responded?
No, I was not. Senior crime scene analyst Christy Thomas also responded, and a crime scene analyst supervisor, Kaylin King, responded.
Now, when crime scene analysts arrive at a scene that's a possible homicide, I assume there's detectives and patrol officers there as well?
That's correct.
What kind of happens when you first get there?
When we first arrive on scene, we typically get a scene briefing, kind of the logistics of the scene, what we have, what items of evidence there potentially might be. We get that from a patrol officer, and then we kind of meet as a team to kind of determine the scene.
And when you say you meet as a team, is that yourself and detectives?
That's correct.
Oh, and other crime scene analysts, I should say.
That's correct.
Do you all kind of take an overview of the scene before people get down into the work of it?
Yes, we typically do a walkthrough of the scene to kind of determine what's going to be important for us.
Okay. Now you said that for homicide scenes generally there's more than one crime scene analyst that responds. How are the duties divided amongst the analysts?
It can vary from scene to scene, but typically, and especially on this scene, we divided it so that one crime scene analyst was doing the report and the photos, which was myself, and another crime scene analyst typically does the evidence and the diagram, which was Christy Thomas in this case.
And but all of you are sort of familiar with the scene because you're working it together?
Yes, we work in tandem.
Okay. And you were the photographer?
I was.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness? And I don't know if Mr. Horvath and Mr. Deskowitz, do you want to? Okay. Your Honor, just for the record, defense counsel has reviewed all these photos that I'm going to show her, the witness. Okay. I'm going to ask you just to look through these in groups, and this is states proposed 1 through 51. If you can just let me know if you recognize those photographs.
I recognize these.
Are they a fair and accurate depiction, with the exception of one, state's proposed one, of how the scene appeared on September the 3rd?
Yes, they are.
State moves to admit, I think 2 is already admitted, which is, so 2, or I guess 3 through 51.
No objection.
If they're admitted,
And with respect to state's proposed 1, does that appear to be like a Google image of the house?
Yes.
State moves to admit 1.
No objection.
it's admitted.
Thank you. The next series I'd like you to look at are states proposed 52 to 105. If you could have a look at those.
Let me just fast forward these.
And are they
Recognize these as well.
a fair and accurate depiction of sort of the inside of Mr. Gehrman's house?
Yes.
State moves to admit 52 to 105.
No objection.
They're admitted.
Next group is 53 to 134. Accurate depiction of,
Recognize these.
and are they a fair and accurate depiction of the outside and backyard area of Mr. Gehrman's house?
Yes.
State moves to admit 106 through 134.
No objection.
They're admitted.
Next group is 135 through 148. There's just one more after that.
Recognize those?
Those appear to be the garage area and Mr. Gehrman's vehicle.
Yes.
State moves to admit 135 through 148.
We have no objection.
They're admitted.
And the last group is state's proposed 149 through 161, if you could look through those.
Recognize those as well.
Okay, and for the record, state's proposed 149 is a diagram of the crime scene, is that correct?
That's correct.
And the remaining up to 161 are photographs that were taken on the 3rd?
Yes.
Fair and accurate representation of how they appeared with some of the crime scene analyst markers on them?
Yes.
State moves to admit 149 to 161.
We have no objection.
They're admitted.
May I publish these, Your Honor?
Admitted.
Thank you.
I think what Teles is charged with is first-degree murder. I think so. Fine.
So let's,
remember the
we're going to
charges.
start with what's been admitted as states 1. What are we looking at in that photograph?
This is the front of the residence with a Google Street View.
Okay. And this is what's been admitted as states 2. And what are we looking at in that one?
This is the front of the residence on September 3rd.
Okay. Now, as we see it here, it looks like there's some crime scene tape on there. Is that fair?
That's correct.
Who puts the crime scene tape up?
It's usually going to be the first responding officers.
Okay. And that was in place by the time you got there?
That's correct.
I'm going to put on the overhead states 5. What are we looking at in that photograph?
This is the west side yard of that same residence.
Okay. And this is state 7. What are we looking at in that photograph?
This is, again, the west side yard of that same residence. The gate in the back leads to the backyard, and in front of that gate, you can see the decedent.
Okay. That gate that we see in the backyard, did that have locks on it, or was it closed or anything?
No, there were gates on both the east and west sides of the house, and neither of them had a lock.
Okay. I'm now putting on the overhead, what's been admitted as states 10. What are we looking at in that photograph?
This is a photograph of the decedent.
And when you and other crime scene analysts are noting, or I guess documenting the crime scene, is there any movement of the decedent before you take the photographs, or do you want to keep the scene as it was, and in your photography, I guess I should say?
Ideally, we keep the scene as pristine as we can. My photographs were actually taken after initial photographs of another CSA. They had already done an initial cursory body examination, and during that time, they discovered that the circumstances of his death were suspicious, so a homicide was called out.
Was there thinking at one point that it might have been a medical incident?
There was.
Okay. And then after that kind of was dispelled, then homicide and yourself respond?
That's correct.
Now, in terms of the decedent, was there an attempt to document any personal property that he had on his person?
Yes, there was.
And what did he have with him?
Inside the left front pocket of the shorts that he was wearing, he had a cell phone. Protruding from the left rear pocket of those same shorts was a wallet with cards and identification in the name Jeffrey Gehrman, as well as several US dollar bills in cash. And then in his right front pocket, there was a car key.
So I'm putting on the overhead states 40. Is that the cell phone that you just spoke of?
Yes, it is.
And this is states 41. What is that?
This is the car key.
And I think you mentioned a wallet as well?
That's correct.
Okay. This is states 43. That's his wallet?
That's correct.
Was there photography done on the inside of his wallet to see if there was any cash present?
Yes, there was.
This is states 46. And that was documented as well?
Yes.
Probably, do you know how much money he had on him, or?
I can't recall.
Okay.
The evidence was booked by crime scene analyst Christy Thomas.
Okay, but it didn't appear like there was money taken from his wallet because it's present.
It did not appear so.
And this is states 47. That would be his identification?
That's correct.
Now, the areas surrounding the body, did yourself and other crime scene analysts take note of the condition of those bushes and kind of shrubs?
Yes.
And what were your observations about them?
The bushes that were closest to the decedent had several broken branches. There was also apparent blood on those branches, and the rocks appeared to be disturbed around those bushes.
I'm putting in the overhead states 51. Is that an example of that?
Yes, it is.
And this is states 50. Sort of another view of the bushes with blood.
Yes.
You said the rocks around him were disturbed as well?
Yes.
Now, when you're dealing with the decedent's body, are there attempts made to preserve evidence in the form of DNA that might be on his person?
Yes.
And what is that?
We typically, whenever we are recovering a body from a scene, we're going to place handbags over their hands so we can preserve any kind of DNA evidence that might be on their hands or under their nails, whatever the case may be. We also wrap them in a clean sheet to preserve any trace evidence that might be on them.
I'm putting on the overhead states 37. What is that?
This is a representation of one of the bags that we put on his hand.
Okay. And this is states 36. That would be the other one, I think.
Yes.
And again, you said that's to preserve like DNA evidence?
That's correct.
Did yourself, detectives and crime scene analysts go into Mr. Gehrman's residence as well?
Yes, we did.
When you went into the residence, I guess I should say, what way did you make entry? Through the sort of the garage door that leads into the house, or the front door?
I
or-
believe we made entry through the interior garage door.
Okay. Did you do any documentation of the front door to note its condition?
Yes.
Was there any damage to the front door?
There was no damage to the front door.
Okay. I'm putting on the overhead states 52. Is that the front door?
Yes, it is.
And the photograph is to document that it hasn't been kicked in or there's no damage to the frame?
That's correct.
How about the interior of the residence? How would you describe it?
The interior of the residence was actually very clean, very orderly. Everything was essentially in its place.
Have you been to residences where places have been ransacked or items have been taken?
Yes, I have.
Did this residence look like that at all?
No, it did not.
Did it look like there was any area of disturbance inside the residence?
No.
This is States 53. What part of the house is that?
This is the living room.
And again, no disturbance, and his TV's present, everything looks pretty much in order?
Yes.
Would be nice to see the exhibit.
This is States 54. Is that just another view of the living room?
Yes, it is.
This is States 59. What are we looking at in that photograph?
This is the bedroom inside the residence.
And again, no sign of disturbance.
That's correct.
This is State 60. And we're looking at,
This is another view of the bedroom.
okay. I'm putting on the overhead now, State 64. What are we looking at in that photograph?
This is like a sitting room that was just off of the living room.
No sign of disturbance in that room.
No.
This is State 66. And what room is that?
This is the office.
This is State 68.
Finally.
Appears to be sort of a closer view of his computer.
Yes.
Any sign of disturbance that you saw in that office area? Did you note the condition of like closets and cupboards to document whether or not there was any disturbance in those areas as well?
Yes, I did.
This is State 71. No disturbance in that closet, it appears.
That's correct.
And this is State 74. Sort of a cupboard, no disturbance.
That's correct.
And was it like that throughout the house? There was no sign of disturbance anywhere on the inside?
Correct.
Did Mr. Gehrman have medication that appeared undisturbed as well?
Yes, he did.
I want to move to, this is States 81, you can tell me. What are we looking at in that photograph?
This is the dining room area inside the residence.
Okay, and this is States 83. That dining room area to the right of it is a kitchen?
Yes.
And I see like a butcher block on the counter there. Did you document whether any knives were missing or anything like that?
There were no knives missing from the block.
Okay.
It's important to note that there were no knives.
That dining room area to the right of it is a kitchen?
Yes.
And I see like a butcher block on the counter there. Did you document whether any knives were missing or anything like that?
There were no knives missing from the block.
Okay. This is States 89. What are we looking at there?
This is another view of the other side of the kitchen.
Okay, no sign of disturbance.
No sign of disturbance.
And this is States 91.
This is again another view of the kitchen.
And again, no indication of disturbance.
No disturbance.
I'm showing you now States 100, and it appears to be a trash bag. What was done with that?
This trash bag was located on the floor in between that dining room area and the kitchen. It was just open on the floor like that. We went through it and looked for any kind of receipts to kind of determine a timeline.
And I'm putting on the overhead now, States 103. What is that?
This is a receipt from Roberto's,
Okay.
dated 9/2, I believe at 9:03 a.m.
Okay. And the date would be on the receipt here. Let me see. Can you see it? Oh, I know. So we see the receipt from 9/2?
That's correct.
Okay. And the other part of the receipt has the time at 9:03 a.m.?
Yes.
How about the sort of the exterior of all of Mr. Gehrman's house? Was that documented by crime scene analysts as well?
Yes, it was.
And what was the purpose of that?
Just to document to see if there were any kind of disturbances or any way that somebody might have made entry into the residence.
This is States 106. Let me back up. What are we looking at in that photograph?
This is the west side gate that is just behind the decedent.
Okay, and that gate is closed, but there's not locks on it?
That's correct.
Was there any sign of disturbance around sort of the perimeter of the house?
There wasn't much of a disturbance. As you can see in that last photo, the gate is not latched all the way. So the door is closed, but it's not latched. Also, there's a window just north of that gate, so on the other side of the gate in the backyard. That window had a slash through the screen.
Okay, I'm putting on the overhead States 111. Can we see the window that you're talking about in that photograph? It's probably, can you see it or no?
I don't believe so. It's actually just beyond that bush on the left.
Okay, I'll try this one. This is States 113.
I just want to pause it right here to say if you are just tuning in right now or just watching from the replay, hi, welcome to the stream. We are going through the trial of Robert Tellez, Nevada versus Tellez. Don't forget to hit that like button as well as subscribing for more content, because we have a lot more to come from this channel. And also, we are live every Sunday for Source and Order, every Sunday from 4 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 4 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, let's get back into the Robert Tellez trial.
Can you see looking at 113, can you see the slash mark on the window?
If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's the linear line.
Can you, there's a mouse up there? Yeah.
I believe that this is the slash.
Okay, I'm gonna approach just so you're sure.
I know I said earlier that Robert Tellez has been charged with first-degree murder, but apparently, according to this jurisdiction,
at that slash, or is there any
it's
further
called
description you can
open
give of
murder.
it?
There's just a tear in the
screen?
In the screen.
Okay, this is States 114. It might be a better picture of it.
He was charged with open murder,
Is
meaning
that the slash that you were talking about?
That's correct.
Any other disturbance though on the window, like on the inside of that corresponding room, broken glass, anything pushed out?
No, not that we noticed.
Okay. And as you continue to the back of the residence, any disturbance whatsoever?
Not that I recall.
Okay, this is States 117. That appear to be the back of the residence.
Yes.
And then the back door that leads, I assume, into the kitchen area, no, that wasn't broken or any sign of disturbance to that as well?
No.
Mr. Gehrman's car was present at the scene?
Yes, it was.
This is states 135. And the keys were in his pocket, right?
That's correct. One key was in his pocket and one key was actually in the bedroom closet.
In the bedroom closet. The car itself, was it disturbed? Did you look at it on the inside?
We did open up the car. It was very clean on the inside.
Clean on the inside, nothing appeared out of the ordinary?
That's correct.
So the scene appears to be kind of confined to that side yard area?
Yes.
I'm going to put on the overhead states 149. What are we looking at in this exhibit?
This is a diagram of the crime scene.
Okay. Now on this diagram, I see AB6, AB5, 15, AB4, and AB3, 2, and 1. What are those designations?
The AB1 through, I believe it's 6, is apparent blood. So apparent blood stain 1 through 6. There are different locations around the body. Number 15 is actually a broken branch that we located near the body that also had apparent blood on it.
Were swabs taken of these areas?
Yes.
And how do you guys do that at a scene?
Whenever we take swabs of apparent blood, especially in this case, AB1 and AB2 are actually going to just be the physical surface that the blood was on, so it's 2 rocks. 15, like I said, is a branch that had apparent blood on it, so that was booked just as a branch. However, I believe it's AB3 through AB6. We take a cotton swab, so think of it like a Q-tip. We put molecular water on it, which is just essentially clean water. And then we swab the stain and secure it in an envelope and submit it for evidence.
Now, prior to swabbing it, do you mark it on the ground or on wherever it is and photograph it so you know which one is AB1, 2, 3, or 4?
That's correct.
I'm putting on the overhead states 150. And can you see the crime scene analyst markers on there?
Yes, you can.
And where should the jury be looking for those?
If you look here on the rocks, this is AB1 and AB2, I believe. The rocks themselves were collected. And then one of the designators is actually right here in the bush on the branch.
Okay. This is states 151. And are you able to see those markers as AB, well, I can read it with my glasses, AB1 and AB2?
Yes, AB1, AB2 are on the ground, AB3 is on the branch.
Okay, and those correspond to where they were on the diagram?
That's correct.
And so this would be AB3, which is on that branch.
Yes.
They scoured everywhere, even branches of the house. Insane.
Now I'm putting on the overhead
They
states
were on the job.
158. Appears to be like a outside decorative butterfly and a bird bath. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And were swabs taken from those items as well?
Yes.
And those would have been impounded the same way that you previously described?
That's correct.
And then are you, as a crime scene analyst, the person who does DNA testing or forensic testing on the item?
No, I do not.
Okay. I think that's all I have, Your Honor. Thank you. I'll pass the witness.
Cross-examination?
Yes, thank you. Ms. Bryant, you had testified it was yourself and 2 other crime scene analysts.
That's correct.
The other 2 analysts were Thomas and King.
That's correct.
Did all 3 of you arrive at the address at the same time?
Approximately the same time, yes.
Approximately what time did you arrive?
1441.
Did you arrive in the same vehicle with crime scene analyst Thomas?
I don't believe so. I think we took separate vehicles.
Okay, same question for crime scene analyst King.
I think she also took a separate vehicle.
All right. You arrive at the residence. Who's present when you arrive?
When I arrived, crime scene analyst Janelle Bracken was there initially. She did the initial documentation of the decedent. I believe homicide had already arrived and there were patrol officers as well.
So when you arrived, and you testified that you arrived at presumably the same time that crime scene analyst Thomas and crime scene analyst King arrived, crime scene analyst Bracken was already there.
That's correct.
So now we have 4 crime scene analysts.
Yes, she responded to the scene initially on a dead body call. After they did their coroner examination, they determined that the circumstances of that death were suspicious. So as it was the end of her shift, swing shift, which is a shift that I work, took over, and she left the scene.
Are you aware of what time crime scene analyst Bracken arrived?
I am not sure what time she arrived.
When you arrived, you testified that homicide was there. You're referring to homicide detail?
Homicide detectives, that's correct.
And who was the principal detective, if you knew, of this crime scene investigation based upon your arrival and your understanding?
I believe the detectives that were the lead agents on the case were Detective Gaddis and Hawkins.
Gaddis and Hawkins.
That's correct.
And they belong basically to the homicide group or the homicide detail, fair to say?
That's correct.
How many detectives in total were present when you arrived?
I can't recall.
Fair to say there was a lot of people coming in and out?
There were,
Law enforcement.
yes, there were a lot of law enforcement on scene.
How many patrol officers were on scene, if you're aware?
I can't recall.
Are you aware of any Metro Intelligence officers that were present?
I don't recall that.
Okay. There may have been, you just don't recall.
That's correct.
Now, your responsibilities were primarily that of taking photos and generating a report in reference to those photos, fair to say? As well as the evidence diagram that we've reviewed with you, that's State's Exhibit 149, correct?
CSA Thomas was the one that impounded the evidence and generated the diagram.
Okay. So your primary responsibility was that of photographing?
That's correct.
We were shown photographs, it was State's Exhibit 36 of the hands. Do you recall those?
That's correct, yeah.
You didn't place basically the covering on the hands, correct?
I can't recall which of us put the handbags over the hand.
So you may have put the handbags on the hands?
Typically, it'll be the crime scene analyst who is doing the evidence recovery will do that, but I can't recall.
Okay, and who would have that person been?
That would have been CSA Thomas.
But you don't know if it was CSA Thomas or yourself, correct, to put those bags on?
I can't recall.
And fair to say, when you arrived, there were no bags on the hands, correct?
Correct.
And you don't know how long those hands were exposed prior to your arrival?
Correct.
You had given testimony concerning this knife block inside Mr. Gehrman's residence?
Yes.
And you had testified that no knives were missing from that particular block, correct? Did you, and this block was in the kitchen area?
Yes, it was.
Did you open and review the drawers contained within, inside the kitchen?
Not that I recall.
Didn't photograph the contents?
No.
Didn't know what was in there before your arrival, a week before, or following your departure, correct?
No.
Did you take any measurements of the distance between the kitchen area to the scene where the photographs were taken of the blood and the other matters?
No, we did not.
You were asked to give testimony concerning the slash. It was State's Exhibit 113. And you characterized that as a slash, correct?
Yes.
I'm sorry? You probably, I don't want to mess up your stack. I have 113, but actually I have it. Thank you very much. Can you see it? This was a delay. This is the slash that was referred to, correct?
Yes.
On the window? And that was on the other side of the gate where Mr. Gehrman was found, correct?
Correct.
And then a close-up of this slash is in Exhibit 115, correct?
Yes.
Now, you use the word slash, but you don't know whether or not that was slashed by a knife or was even cut, correct?
No, it's a defect.
A defect. So, I mean, the idea of slash, that's something that doesn't necessarily fit that photograph, does it?
It could potentially, but it is a defect in the screen.
It could have been a fray.
It could have been.
And are you aware of what level, what height this slash or this fray was from the ground?
I don't recall.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Can you direct?
Ms. Browning, when crime scene analysts are working scenes, it looks like you're on duty now, right? Is that what you would wear?
Yes.
Do you wear gloves?
Yes, we do.
What's the purpose of crime scene analysts wearing gloves?
It's to prevent any contamination or cross-contamination of the scene.
Okay, and do all crime scene analysts at murder scenes wear gloves in order to avoid that contamination?
Yes, we do. We actually double glove anytime that DNA is a concern.
Okay, and so whoever bagged the hands of Mr. Gehrman would have been double gloved?
That's correct.
Okay. When you got to the scene, I think you, well, we talked about there being crime scene tape up.
That's correct.
Okay. What's the purpose of the tape?
The tape is to keep any non-law enforcement personnel out of the scene.
When you've been at murder scenes in your work at Metro, in a murder scene, if you're law enforcement, is everybody allowed to go in the scene where the decedent is?
No.
What are the rules on that?
Typically, it's going to be people that are actively investigating the scene.
Okay, so anyone who happens to be standing around can't go into the scene?
Correct.
And are there steps taken by patrol officers, analysts, and detectives, everybody, to preserve scenes?
Yes.
And that's in order to preserve any possible evidence that might be present?
Yes.
Thank you.
Any more comments?
Yes, and follow up. You were part of a second group that arrived. There was a crime scene analyst, Bracken, who had arrived prior to you, correct?
Correct.
Initially, this wasn't treated as a homicide scene, was it?
Not initially.
So these concerns regarding preserving evidence and contamination obviously would have followed, fair to say?
Anytime that a decedent is on scene, we do our best to lock down the scene. We have patrol officers on scene. We put tape up. We take all the precautions as necessary.
But you weren't present. were
I
you?
was not present for that.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
No other questions?
Thank you very much for your testimony here today. You may step down. You are excused from your subpoena. Thank you for being here. And you may call your next witness.
So as I was saying, Robert Teller's charges is for open murder, meaning that it will come to a point that the jury will decide whether it will be first degree murder or second degree murder. That's what open murder is. Okay. Let me just write this down.
You're about to give this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
You may be seated. Thank you. Please state and spell your first and last name for the record.
My name is Jamie Yoss, Jamie, Jamie, last name Yoss, IOOS as in Sam.
May I proceed, Your Honor? How were you employed?
I am the Director of the Office of Public Information for the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department.
And what does that mean you do?
I supervise a staff of 10. We are a liaison between the public, the media, and the department. We put together press releases, press conferences. We maintain the department's social media sites as well as the website.
When you say press releases, does that sometimes concern crimes that have just occurred?
Yes, it does.
And are some of those seeking the public's assistance to see if they can identify somebody?
Yes, we do ask for the public's assistance.
Were you working in that capacity in September of 2022?
Yes.
And were you involved in the press releases associated with the Jeff Gehrman homicide?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you remember, can you tell the members of the jury just generally what type of information or what was released by Metro related to that investigation?
The Public Information Office is not an investigative unit, but when an investigative unit like homicide wants to put out pictures of a crime scene, of evidence, of video they have of a suspect, they'll coordinate with the Public Information Office and we'll either put together a written press release that we release to the media, or sometimes we do press conferences where we release photos and videos of evidence.
And was video evidence released in this case?
Yes, we had video evidence in this case.
Who compiles that, or who decides what's released?
The homicide section, or whatever the investigative section is, decides what they want released, and then they send it to the Public Information Office, and we kind of compile it for them and put it together in a presentation that then we can give to the public.
Okay, I want to play, I think this will be State's Proposed 338. Yes. Okay. Does that image look familiar, or the kind of
Yes.
top part of that? It
Yes.
says man found deceased outside home.
Yep.
What are we looking at there?
We're looking at surveillance video from the neighborhood of where the Gehrman murder occurred that homicide gave to the Public Information Office to release for a press conference on September 6th, 2022.
And there was video, this is sort of a still of the video evidence that was released?
Yes.
Okay, can we just play that? So looking at that video, it appears there's like a normal speed of an individual walking, is that correct?
Correct.
And then a slower version?
Yes.
And then a picture of a car?
Yes.
And then a still?
Yes.
Sort of? All of those would have been provided to you by homicide detectives?
Yes.
Metro pushes that information out on September 5th or 6th?
September 5th, we released a photo of the suspect in the case. September 6th, we had a press conference where we released the video, the picture of the car, and again, the still photo of the suspect.
Now, once those are put out by Metro, if someone is calling in and says, I have information, does that go to you?
No, that does not go to our office. If we need a 24/7 response, there's a certain phone number that goes to what we call our Fusion Watch, where we put out their phone number that can get answered at any time if people have tips. We also provide the Crime Stoppers phone number, so if people want to call and report tips anonymously, they can do that. We also, for that press conference, provided the email for the homicide section in case anyone wanted to email homicide as well.
Okay. And the tips that come in, those are followed up by homicide
Yes.
at your office?
Right.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I'll pass the witness.
Cross-examination.
Yes, thank you. So just so we're clear, you're involved in putting this information, these photographs, these recordings out, but you don't monitor the responses that are received. Were you involved in the series concerning Bob the burglar, where there was a similarly dressed individual in this area?
Yes.
And when was this Bob the burglar series presented?
Approximately 1 to 2 months before the homicide.
Okay, and you reviewed those videos in preparation for your testimony today?
No.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Nothing else, Robert. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your testimony here today. Please step down and you're excused for your subpoena. And the state may call their next witness.
Stephanie Smissen.
solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
You may be seated. Please state and spell your first and last name for the record.
My first name is Stephanie, Stephanie. Last name is Smissen, Smischen.
You may proceed. How are you employed?
I'm employed with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department.
And what is your job title?
I am a senior crime scene analyst.
We just had a crime scene analyst testify before you. How long have you worked as a crime scene analyst?
Almost 8 years.
And you're a senior crime scene analyst as well?
Yes.
And so that means you're allowed to go to more complicated scenes because of a demonstrated proficiency and experience?
Yes.
When crime scene analysts assist detectives with search warrants, can you describe what your responsibilities are at that type of scene?
Yes, so generally we'll document the crime scene, and we do that by taking notes, we take photographs, we collect evidence, sometimes we'll process for fingerprints, and then at the end we'll generate a report.
Okay. Your Honor, may I approach the witness? Mr. Dodd, could you see? Yes. Okay. I'm going to show you some photographs. The first one is State's Proposed 217. Do you recognize what's depicted in that photograph?
Yes.
And is that the location where you served a search warrant on September 7th with detectives?
Yes.
And then I'd like you to look through this series of photographs, which is State's Proposed 254 through 310. And tell me when you're done with those, please.
Let me fast forward this. Didn't realize. I didn't think it would take this long. I didn't think it would take this long.
.310. Okay. With respect to 254 to 310, are those a fair and accurate depiction of the location of the search warrant as well as items recovered from the search warrant?
Yes.
State moves to admit those exhibits or those photographs.
Okay.
They're admitted.
And then with respect to 217, is that an outside view of the location for the search warrant?
Yes.
State moves to admit 217. Now, as the crime scene analyst on a search warrant, are you searching as well as the detectives?
We generally leave the searching up to the detectives.
Okay, so they search the particular locations, and then where do you guys come in as crime scene analysts?
Once they find an item of interest, they will ask us to go to that location and photograph it, document it, or collect it.
Okay. I'm putting on the overhead what's been admitted as States 217. Do you recognize that location?
Yes.
Is that 9624 Spanish Steps Lane?
Yes.
Did you know whose residence this was?
Yes.
Whose residence is it?
Robert Teller.
Okay, and that's a search warrant was served there on September the 7th with detectives and yourself?
Yes.
You said the detectives typically are doing the searching and you document where various items are found photographically?
Yes.
And then what happens to those items after you document them photographically?
We can collect it and bring it back to the lab for impound or further processing.
Okay. I'm putting on the overhead what's been admitted as states 254. What area of the residence are we looking at in that photograph?
This is the kitchen.
And there appears to be an open drawer on the right side of the dishwasher?
Yes.
What of interest was in that drawer?
There were several items inside of that drawer.
Such as?
Scissors, I believe a knife was in there as well, or a box cutter.
I'm putting on the overhead states 255, sort of a closer view of that drawer. Is that fair?
Yes.
And there, it looks like there's a pair of black scissors, maybe a box cutter, and then some gray scissors?
Yes.
This is states 256. Is that a closer up view of those items?
Yes.
Were those items collected and impounded by you?
Yes.
With respect to those items, did you do anything in terms of further processing them for the presence of blood or DNA type evidence?
Yes, they were all swabbed for possible DNA. The scissors, the gray ones, were swabbed for apparent blood.
For apparent blood. I'm putting on the overhead states 259. Those are the gray scissors?
Yes.
And what is the notation that we see with the AB5, the bright pink?
The pink sticker is just a scaled sticker to show an area of interest, the area that I believe to be apparent blood.
Okay, and those are these are things that you processed yourself?
Correct.
You swapped? Do you recall a pair of shoes or like half a shoe and a whole shoe being collected at that scene?
Yes.
I'm putting on the overhead states 263. Do you recognize that shoe?
Yes.
And was that one of the shoes that were collected at that search warrant?
Yes.
And this is states 268. What are we looking at in that photograph?
This is a partial shoe that was also located
Okay.
and recovered.
And were you the person that swabbed the shoe and the partial shoe for possible DNA evidence?
Yes.
I'm putting on the overhead states 274. Is that upside down?
Yes.
All right. What are we looking at there?
These are some multiple pieces of like white, gray rubber pieces.
And did they appear to be like pieces of a shoe?
They appear to be that way, yes.
Okay. Did you swab those items as well?
There was one that I swabbed.
And why did you swab a particular item?
There was a small area of a reddish brown stain on one of the pieces.
Okay. I'm going to put on the overhead states 275. Zoom in. Do you see the area that you swabbed?
Yes.
And usually, I think there's a mouse up in front of you. Are you able to point that out for the jury?
Oh, where'd it go? I don't know where the mouse went.
Okay. Well, how about
Okay.
Is that the area?
Yes.
Okay. I'm now putting on the overhead states 277. Let me back out. What are we looking at in that photograph?
This is a Ziploc bag that had more of those rubber pieces that were gray, black, and white in color.
Okay. And did you make some attempt to put some of them together to document what the cut pieces might have been before they were all cut up tiny?
Yes.
This is states 280. And what are we looking at there?
This appears to be the tongue of the shoe that will depict the brand, the size.
So it's like a Nike shoe.
Yes.
I'm now putting on the overhead states 282. What is that photograph?
This is a picture of a Sprouts grocery bag containing multiple pieces of a cut straw hat.
This is states 284. Is that the hat?
Yes.
And this is states 285. It looks like you laid the pieces of the hat out.
Yes.
Did you do any swabs on that Sprouts bag itself?
The bag, yes.
Okay. And what was the purpose of swabbing it?
For possible DNA.
And how about on the pieces of the hat? Did you swab them?
No.
Let me. One second. Hat impound.
Oh, there you go.
Were all of
That's about
the
it.
different pieces of the hat impounded?
Yes. Thank you.
And lastly, I'm putting on the overhead states 306. What is that item?
This is a duffel bag.
And was that collected in the search warrant as well?
Yes.
And so you would have photographed that and impounded that as well?
Yes.
If I could have the court's indulgence for just 1 second. Okay, thank you. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Cross-examination?
Yes, thank you. Ms. Smissen, when you arrived at the residence, what time was it?
At the residence was about 9:30 a.m.
Who else was present when you arrived?
There were homicide detectives, patrol officers were there, personnel from the crime scene analyst section as well.
Okay, how many other crime scene analysts were present?
There was a crime scene analyst supervisor that was present, our director was present, and myself.
So 3 crime scene analysts.
Correct, when I arrived.
Did others arrive prior to your getting there?
Crime scene analyst?
Yes.
No,
So you were the first.
correct,
And the others arrived after you did.
correct.
Which detectives? What were the identities of the detectives that were present when you arrived?
There were a handful of detectives that were present. Are you looking for names?
Yes, that's my next.
Okay.
Yes.
There was Mogg, Justine Gaddis. I'm blanking on some of the names, but I want to say Edgar Nahum was there. Brittany, I'm forgetting her last name, but there were numerous detectives that were there.
Do you recall the number of males, females?
As far as detectives,
Yes.
I do not know exactly the number, no.
Okay. You generated a report in reference to your involvement in this case,
Yes,
and you didn't include the names of the detectives in your report?
I did include, I just don't know off the top of my head how many.
Okay. Was it only homicide that was there?
No,
Okay. You agree with me that Metro is divided into various details, groups that investigate certain types of crimes, fair to say?
yes,
Generally, there's a principal detective, or basically the one's in charge, and then that person delegates various responsibilities to various people.
yes.
If you recall, who was the primary detective in this case?
It was Detective Justine Gaddis.
Okay. And what other homicide detectives did you interact with in reference to your investigation and collection of evidence in this case?
Her, Mogg. Again, I'm blanking on names, but may I refer to my report for
Okay,
names?
please.
Let's fast forward that.
I apologize, I did not.
Okay, let's go back a little bit.
I apologize, I did not happen to write their names down in my report.
Correct.
I apologize.
So again, we don't know, do we? Because you didn't write it down.
I apologize, yes.
Fair enough. We know homicide was there. There were other detectives from other details, correct?
Yes,
There was Metro Intelligence there, correct?
I'm not completely sure.
You're not sure. So we don't really know who was on this scene where you were collecting evidence and having evidence handed to you, correct?
As far as evidence, only I interacted with homicide that was handling off, so intelligence was not handling off evidence to me.
That you're aware of, but we
That
don't
I-
know for sure, do we? Fair to say?
Yes.
Now, in reference to you reviewing these drawers, was your attention drawn to what to photograph or what to document within the kitchen area of this residence?
Yes.
And who was it that directed your attention to those drawers?
I don't remember specifically which detective, to be honest.
Okay.
They were all searching at the same time throughout the residence and usually were pulled in different directions.
Fair enough. So there's a fair amount of chaos going on, correct?
Yes.
On the pair of scissors, and I believe it states Exhibit 217, there appeared to be what may have been blood on those scissors, correct?
Correct.
And you documented that, you preserved that.
Correct. Yes.
And then that went on to another department to analyze, fair to say?
Yes.
In reference to these shoes, you didn't actually find the shoes, but you were directed by another detective to document or to photograph the pieces of the shoes, correct?
Yes.
You don't know who that was, correct?
I believe that was Detective Nahum that directed me for the shoes.
But you agree with me, you're not sure as you sit here today, are you?
I do remember specifically the shoes, yes.
Okay. But there was more than one, correct? There was bags, I mean, there was multiple particles to these shoes, correct?
Yes.
And they were located where in the residence?
There was a couch in one of the living rooms, the northeast living room, and it was underneath the recliner portion of the couch.
But you were directed once these pieces of these shoes were found to that area, correct? You didn't actually find them, did you?
That is correct.
Where were you at when you were summoned to go and find these pieces of these shoes, or to photograph these pictures of these shoes?
I'm in the side of the residence as well with the detectives, catching up on notes.
What room were you in when you were summoned?
I'm not sure exactly which room I was in.
What time were you summoned?
I'm not sure about that as well.
Same questions concerning this hat that was cut up. You were summoned by a detective to come and photograph the hat, correct?
Yes.
That hat was cut up in pieces, correct?
Yes.
You don't recall where you were at when you were summoned, do you?
I was somewhere within the residence.
Okay, and how large was this residence?
It was a standard 2-story residence.
How many bedrooms?
There's one downstairs. I believe there's the master bedroom upstairs and 2 children's bedrooms upstairs as well.
Did you diagram the residence?
I did not diagram the residence, no.
How many square feet was the residence?
I am not sure.
You arrived at the residence a little after 9 o'clock is your testimony?
Yes.
What time did you leave the residence?
May I refer to my report?
Please.
I left at 7 o'clock at night.
Okay. So
Oh,
what time?
I apologize. I left at 1:18 in the afternoon.
Okay, so you were there for approximately 4 hours.
Yes.
Fair to say you were in multiple rooms, correct?
Yes.
Did you ever go into the backyard?
Yes.
Side yards?
Yes.
Front yards?
Yes.
There were times while you were at the residence you would have walked out on the street, correct?
Yes.
So you're in and out during this 4-hour period, correct?
Yes.
You're not paying attention to who's there, who's not, fair to say?
Might not have noticed everybody that walked through. There's so many people there.
Exactly, there were so many people, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Yes. Do you know what a CAD report is?
Yes.
What is that?
It is the details of an event that is generated once somebody calls into our dispatch. As the dispatcher is receiving the information, they type that into the CAD event, and those are just all the details from that event.
Do you have to tell the dispatcher when you're going to a search warrant?
Like when we get assigned?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
So you would have had to radio in or log in and say that you're going to this particular location?
Yes.
And so you would be in a CAD report as someone at that location?
Yes.
You mentioned that, you discussed on cross-examination with Mr. Draskovich that there was no diagram done in this case, at this location. Is that correct? This was a search warrant, right?
Yes.
It's not a crime scene?
Yes.
You're looking for evidence?
Yes.
Or the detectives are. Diagrams are at crime scenes to note where particular items of evidence are. Is that fair?
Yes, they're generally at the original crime scene.
Okay, not at search warrants?
Correct.
Because items could be hidden and obviously placed there by defendants.
Objection leading.
Sustained.
Items in a house are placed or under the control of whoever's in that house. Is that fair?
That's fair.
So their location may not be accurate.
Sorry, could you?
Their location, I guess that's a bad question. Their location could be manipulated.
Potentially, yes.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yes, in reference to the manipulation of these items, it could be manipulated by who's ever in the residence while you are, correct? Law enforcement.
Generally, once I arrive to the crime scene, I will photograph the scene before anybody moves anything or touches anything, so the photos that I have are in its original state as we arrived.
As you arrived, but then you would testify that you were summoned to come and photograph these various items of interest, correct?
As they're located, yes.
Yes, but you weren't doing the locating, correct?
Correct.
Same question concerning this bag, specifically State's Exhibit 306. This bag you did not find, did you?
No.
You were summoned
Yes.
with all the people coming in and out, correct?
With the detectives, the homicide detectives and specifically.
Or other detectives, whoever else was in there with law enforcement, fair to say?
Yes.
Thank you. No further questions.
No. Okay. Thank you very much for your testimony here today. You may step down. You are excused from your subpoena. Thank you very much for being here. This time we're going to, you may step down. At this time we are going to recess for a break. During this recess, you must not discuss or communicate with anyone, including your fellow jurors, in any way regarding the case or its merits, either by voice, phone, email, text, internet, or other means of communication or social media. Read, watch, or listen to any news or media accounts or commentary about the case. Do research, consult dictionaries, the internet, or reference materials. Do any investigation, test a theory.
All right, let's fast forward to the next part. Before he sits down.
You do solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
You may be seated. Please state and spell your first and last name for the record.
Jonathan, Jayland-Martinnez, Martinez, Martinez.
Okay, proceed.
You may.
Thanks so much. Sir, are you familiar with a company called Multiple Plumbing Services?
Multiple pump services, yes.
Okay, what is Multiple Plumbing Services?
I work for them and we do sewer bypasses.
Okay. So what does that mean, sewer bypass?
When there needs to be work done on the sewer line, we'll create an above ground bypass, plug up the sewer line, suck it up, move it above ground, dump it off somewhere else to dry out that system so they can work on that dried out system.
Does your company perform that sort of work in residential areas?
Yes.
Is that like a 1-hour job?
No, it can go on for months, 24 hours.
Months.
Yes.
I want to turn your attention to September 2nd, 2022. Did you and your company perform a sewer maintenance project over on a street called Wintergreen?
Yes.
Okay. Did you work on that day?
Yes.
If we focus on September 2nd, 2022, and we work our way back, about how long was your company working on Wintergreen?
Probably mid-August.
So you were there in the month of August?
Yes.
So I have a question for you. When you would work on a project like that, was there anything that you and your fellow workers would actually wear on the construction site?
We're required to wear high-vis clothing, usually orange or yellow, with reflective vests or some kind of reflective tape on our chest.
Mr. Martinez, what is the purpose of wearing bright orange stuff when you're working on a sewer project out in a residential neighborhood?
We usually work in the middle of the road, so we need to be visible to traffic.
So you're in the middle of the street?
Yes.
So if a car drove by, in theory, as you were working, they could see you and your fellow workers all wearing orange clothing?
Yes.
And you were there during the month of August?
Yes.
How many days a week were you and your fellow workers working on wintergreen in orange jackets?
Every day for 24 hours.
Every day for 24 hours. So if you walked through the neighborhood, people should have seen you.
Yes.
If you drove through the neighborhood, people should have seen you.
Yes.
All right. Let's talk about September 2nd, 2022, probably around 10:30 in the morning, early morning hours, maybe around leading up to about noon. Are you...
Before he goes into that discussion, I just realized why he's been called in as a witness and why he's being brought in with this questioning. Robert Tellez worked as a politician, as a councilman. So with that role, that means he has the capacity to learn about the different works that will be going on within the city. So I'm guessing that the theory here that is being developed here is that when Robert Tellez, before he commissioned this murder, he had to look for the people that would be working around this time, and he realized that because he mentioned the day of the murder. I think it was the day of the murder. I'm not too sure. But because of that, because of working at that day, what am I trying to say? Because of working on that day, he's wearing his high-vis. The killer was also on that day wearing a high-vis or an orange high-vis, and his son had to conceal his face. So that's why this line of questioning is important, to show the juxtaposition, to show not juxtaposition, but to it is juxtaposition, but it's to it's not juxtaposition, but it's to show why the killer would be wearing the high-vis jacket on this particular day to go out and commit this murder. Let's get back into a testimony.
Working at Wintergreen?
Yes.
Is there a vehicle at some point around that time, around 10:30ish, catch your attention?
Yes.
Why does it catch your attention?
I was doing a route from Rock Springs to Wintergreen every 30 minutes, and I would pull up in the middle. It was more convenient for me to park in the middle so I wouldn't have to park and then walk down. A vehicle parked in kind of like right before a barricaded sign. If that vehicle was there, it would impede traffic to turn right on, I'm not sure the street name. So when I pulled up, that vehicle was parked on that side right there.
So you were not on foot, you were in your car?
I was in the company truck.
It's like a work truck?
Yes.
Okay. And when you see this car parked over there, what kind of vehicle, what color vehicle was it?
I remember it was red.
Red. Do you see the driver?
Yes.
Is the driver wearing anything?
Orange.
Orange. First impressions, did you think he was part of your work project?
I wasn't really sure.
But he had something similar to what you and all your fellow workers who have been there for the last month have been wearing?
Similar, yes.
So do you kind of pull up in his general direction?
I pulled up in the middle of the road, and he was parked on facing the opposite direction than me, on my left.
Do you remember it being filled with lots of people, or was there only one person in the car?
One person.
Okay. As you start to approach this vehicle, does that red car with the person in the orange jacket, does that person stick around?
No, he gave me a wave and then proceeded to drive away.
So that person didn't get out and join your work site?
No.
He didn't ask where I should park to help out and work?
No.
So he just moved on?
Correct.
Did you ever see that red car again, as far as you remember?
Not that I remember.
Okay. You've had, at some point a couple days later, someone from the police department approaches you, isn't that right, Mr. Martinez?
Yes.
Have you had a chance prior to this to see some footage, maybe from some like a home surveillance camera?
Prior to that, no.
Okay. But I meant like around that time, you have seen footage previously that depicts kind of what you've described to us, is that correct?
Yes, I have seen it.
All right. At this time, and I believe we have a stipulation that states proposed 338 has been admitted into evidence.
That is correct.
We will be playing a video just entitled John Martinez Video. If we could cue over, please. Here, we'll start it up again. I'm going to stop it right here. Do you see a vehicle that you just described to us previously?
Yes.
Okay, where is it located on this footage?
It's the SUV on the right top corner.
All right, resuming playing. That white truck, who's driving that white truck?
I am.
And that's kind of the interchange that you saw, correct?
That's correct.
And the driver at no point rolled down his window to ask you where he should park to join you and your fellow workers on that sewage repair project?
No.
He just drove away.
Correct.
I have no further questions.
Cross-examination?
Yes. You were shown this video previously, correct?
Yes, the following Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday after by a detective.
Okay, and this was 2 years ago.
Yes.
And you agree with me that you gave honest answers to the detective when you were interviewed?
Yes.
Tell me you didn't really remember the interaction, did you?
Not really.
And fair to say that, I mean, it's been 2 years, you've had a lot going on. You probably remembered it better then than you would today.
Yeah, I was pretty tired when he interviewed me, but yes.
Okay, he tape recorded your interview, correct?
I believe so.
You were asked if someone tried to get your attention and you said you didn't really remember honestly. Fair answer?
Yeah, fair answer.
Case counsel?
I have 179. Fair to say it wasn't a memorable interaction that you had.
I'm sorry?
I said fair to say that it wasn't really a memorable interaction that you had with this person in this vehicle.
I guess.
I mean, you can tell by your face, it didn't stick. I mean, you didn't remember when you were interviewed a couple of days later, really, you know, what happened or the
No.
importance of anything. Fair to say?
No, I didn't feel like it was important, no.
You didn't feel like it was important. You never saw this person's face, correct?
I did, just for a very short time.
I see. Were you ever shown any lineups in reference to that person?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, to identify this person.
No, I was never asked to.
Okay. You never spoke to this person?
No.
All right, thank you. I have no further questions.
Briefly. Yeah, briefly. Just to be clear, the police officer who interviewed you didn't ask you the question of, hey, did this guy ever get out and ask where he should park? That officer never asked you that question.
No.
Would you have answered it back then if you were asked that question?
Yes, I would have remembered that.
The first person who asked that question was me, correct?
Correct.
And that was today,
Yeah.
right? Additionally, the question about him getting out and asking for directions, like, that was never asked by this officer. If this driver in the orange jacket in the red car ever sought any information as to where to park. But the police officer never asked you a question like that back then, correct?
Correct.
So you never had an opportunity to answer it until today. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. And just to be clear, I mean, we have the video, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we can see the driver doesn't get out of the car, correct?
Correct.
Okay, he just drives off once you start to approach him.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
Anything else?
No further questions, thank you.
Thank you very much for your testimony here today. You may step down. You're excused from your subpoena. Please state and call our next witness.
We're going to call Detective Cliff Mogg to stand.
All right, let me just.
Raise your right hand, face the floor.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You may be seated. Please state and spell out your first and last name for the record.
Clifford, Clifford. Last name is Mogg, M as in Mary, O-G-G.
May I proceed?
You may.
All right, we don't have anyone. Okay, that's all right. Sir, normally I'd ask you what you currently do for a living, but I first want to ask you, maybe as late as or as early as late as last year, what were you doing here in Las Vegas?
So up until August 10th of last year when I retired, I had been a police officer for almost 40 years, 27 of that with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, and 20 years as a homicide detective.
Okay. Currently, what do you have a new profession or at least a follow-up of your police work?
I'm a contract investigator for the Clark County District Attorney's Office, and I have my own company, and that's what I do currently.
Were you hired by our office to prepare kind of a PowerPoint analyzing video surveillance?
I was.
And just to be clear, was this video surveillance that you had collected when you were working as a homicide detective with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department?
Correct. On September 3rd, myself and other members of my squad responded to Mr. Gurman's residence in connection with a body that had been found in a suspicious homicidal death. I was one of the later detectives to respond, and my job at that point was to assist the other lead detectives in the case and locate surveillance video in the area of the crime.
All right. So let's talk about that first. So this PowerPoint, you prepared this PowerPoint, is that correct?
I did.
Tell this jury a little bit about the process that you and your fellow detectives as well as patrol officers conducted to collect all of the footage that we are about to see.
So the collection of this video actually occurred over a couple of days. On the day of our initial response to the scene, we canvassed the area looking for surveillance cameras that are located on the outside of houses, businesses that might be surrounding the area, any other type of surveillance cameras, whether they be stationary or mobile cameras that could be in the area. And then we make contact with the people who are at that residence or that business and attempt to collect video from them. In this case, there was a house directly across the street which had cameras that faced Mr. Gurman's residence. Down the street there were a couple other houses. Some of them did not have any surveillance that was available, either because the camera didn't record it or it wasn't within the range of the camera. I recovered some surveillance video from a house at the corner of Wintergreen and Bronze Circle, which actually showed the arrival of the suspect vehicle and the suspect walking along the Wintergreen Drive.
I want to jump ahead just for 1 second before we start moving on to your PowerPoint. You mentioned you found footage on Wintergreen of the suspect vehicle. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. In your line of work, whether it's in a residential area like in the outdoors or maybe at a casino, is there a process that if you find a suspect or a person of interest, is there a method in which you try to track the movements of someone?
Yes. So once we collect surveillance video and we collect it for a certain time frame where we believe the crime occurred or where the suspect may have been in the area, at that point we start reviewing the camera footage from the time that we get it until the time that video footage ends, looking for the suspect. If we find the suspect or the suspect's vehicle in any of those video clips, then what we do is start going backwards and looking further down the street, around the corner, down the other streets, businesses that are in the area, to see if we can determine when the suspect or the suspect's vehicle arrived in the area and when it left and what route it took to either arrive at the scene or depart from the scene.
And so ultimately you are trying to find ideally the ultimate origin, let's say in this case the suspect car, trying to find the ultimate origin of that suspect car, and you're trying to find the final destination of the car. Would that be fair?
That's correct.
Can you tell, once you found this vehicle, were you able to track it beyond just, Wintergreen and Bronze Circle? Were you able to start collecting surveillance that extended beyond just those couple of streets?
Yes.
Okay, how far out are you going, sir?
Miles. I think it's actually, driving the route, it's approximately 5.4 miles out that we went to collect video.
So you just kind of start what? Hitting businesses or restaurant or residences kind of all along this route that you believe this car is taken?
Correct.
And that's what you did in this case?
Yes.
How did you do that? Is it just a one-person job? How many officers took part in this?
So there was 6 people on my squad. We had other detectives that assisted us. There were detectives from the digital forensic unit that helped us. We had other units within the Metropolitan Police Department that assisted us in canvassing the area for surveillance video. All told, I believe I probably had 25 detectives looking for surveillance video.
Have you ever heard of the term of kind of gridding something out?
Yes.
What does that mean?
So it's just giving areas of responsibility to different detectives to look for surveillance video within that area.
Okay, let's start getting to it. What do we see here? What is on this first slide?
So this first slide, there was a multitude of surveillance video cameras that were located. We were able to collect surveillance video from several of the digital video recorders. Some of it was of evidentiary value, some of it was not. This right here is a listing, just the first 6, of locations that had video that was of an evidentiary value that I used in constructing this PowerPoint.
And let me just stop you right there. And just to be clear, the suspect vehicle is not the only thing that you were tracking, correct, in terms of this PowerPoint and the compilation of the video, is that right?
That's correct. We also tracked the victim.
Okay, so for example, I see number 3. What's significant about number 3?
So number 3 is Roberto's Taco Shop. It's located just north of Charleston on Rainbow, and the victim actually went there at about 9 o'clock in the morning on September 2nd, 2022.
And I see these, you kind of have these parentheses for each one. I'm talking about DVR time. Why did you put that there, Detective?
So this gives us the approximate offset time from the actual time versus what was on the DVR. A lot of times DVR times are off. Sometimes they're way off. It just depends how the system is connected. If it's connected to the internet, then the time is normally accurate. If it's not, and it relies on somebody at the business to set the time, then the time can be off by any amount. And I always, if I'm within a minute, I normally just...
Okay, I'll just leave it there. We'll continue on with the trial watch next week, Sunday, from 4 p.m. Eastern Time. We have run out of time for today's show. But yeah, if you want to see, if you want to suggest a case for us to cover, make sure that you head over to Catch a Call website and click contact us. Also don't forget to sign up for the mailing list as well. Hit contact us and fill out the form for the case you want us to cover. Like I said, don't forget to sign up for the mailing list where we will send you updates of the cases that we're covering, as well as the projects that we're working on right here on Catch Up Call, not Source and Order. That's the name of the show. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Thank you so much for tuning in to Source and Order. This is the beginning of the Robert Teller's trial, and we are going to continue covering this trial as the trial goes on. Day 1 is still not over. One is still going on, and we have gotten through to I believe he is. There'll be a few more witnesses before he's done. The day is not over yet, But yeah, I'll leave it there. Thank you so much, everyone for tuning in. And if you're watching on replay, hopefully that you've enjoyed the show. Hopefully we'll see you guys on one of the live streams and watching live with us. And thank you so much for tuning in. Take good care of yourself. Bye for now. And don't forget to stay saucy. Thank you everyone for tuning in for another Catch Up Call live stream. Make sure that you smash that like button as well as hitting that subscribe button to be notified of our future live streams. We go live regularly, bringing you case updates and recaps of ongoing trials, so make sure you hurry back on the next live stream. We also have more content on the channel that you can binge on. Check out the playlist that we have showcasing all of these contents. Without further, I go by the name of Hines, your friendly neighborhood ketchup man, and I'll see you back in court.